Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Derek Chung. I'm the Vice Chairman of the PolyU DBA Alumni Association Limited, DBAAA. It is my pleasure to be a moderator for this webinar. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to our webinar today, which is organized by the Doctor of Business Administration, DBA, and Doctor of FinTech, DFinTech programs of the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Co-organizer is the PolyU DBA Alumni Association Limited. Supporting organization is the Hong Kong Independent Non-Executive Director Association Limited. Since April this year, DBA and DFinTech programs are organizing a series of webinars. The first webinar, Digital Transformation in Hong Kong Conventional Business, was held on April 14, 2 months ago. A high enrollment rate was recorded in last event. Today, we are pleased to have the event on Smart City. It will be addressed by two scholar leaders. They are Dr. Angus Ho and Dr. Carlos Tam, nurtured by the DBA program, which the first in town DBA program. Both of them are full members of DBAAA. They are renowned scholar leaders and speakers to share us about Smart City. We hope you will get some insights and invaluable takeaway today. To begin today's event, we are pleased to have Professor Stephen Wei, Deputy Program Director of Doctor of FinTech, to deliver the opening remarks. He will give us the class information of DBA and DFinTech programs. Professor Wei, please.
Thank you, Derek. Let me start my. Thank you, Derek. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PolyU Doctor of Business Administration and the Doctor of FinTech Scholar Leader webinar series. I'm Stephen Wei, the Deputy Program Director of the PolyU DFinTech program. DBA program, PolyU has always been a pioneer in Hong Kong tertiary education sector. We introduced the first part-time DBA program in the region 25 years ago. The program now has over 500 graduates. Our DBA program is a highly rewarding and challenging program that integrates academic study with research and management practice. For those of you who may be interested in this program, please scan this QR code to get more information. I give you a bit more time. So can you scan this QR code? And PolyU is also pioneer in launching part-time Doctor of FinTech program, which started 2 years ago. The DFinTech program was created to prepare students for the current digital era, where there's a strong focus on digital transformation and technological innovation. Our current study are mostly senior executives in finance and other industries who want to learn about and explore the potential of digital economies and finance to enhance their management and leadership. To learn more about this program, please scan the QR code shown on the next page, on this page. Thank you. While both the DBA and DFinTech program are pioneering degrees, they also share a key commonality to turn business leaders into scholars so that they can think and tackle business issues at a higher and more holistic level. PolyU scholar leaders do not only bring what they learn from the class to their business, but also bring what they have learned back to society by sharing their business, academic knowledge, and wisdom. That's the motivation behind our Scholar Leader webinar series. Today, we are joined by two distinguished DBA alumni who will share their insights and thoughts on very top of mind topic, smart city. Our two speakers are Dr. Angus Ho, graduated in 2007, and Dr. Carlos Tam, just completed his studies this year. Angus is an expert in smart city solutions, as well as AI, big data analytics, and disruptive technology development. He's currently the chairperson for the InnoTech Affairs Committee at the Hong Kong Institute of Marketing and vice chairman of EduTech at the Hong Kong New and Emerging Technology Education Association. He also holds various senior positions in public listed and innovation companies across Hong Kong. Today, he will speak about accelerating smart city development in the next normal from EduTech perspectives. Carlos is the Assistant Vice President of Emerging Technologies in Hong Kong Telecom's commercial group. He has more than 30 years of a solid experience in information and communication technology and has been heavily involved in leading innovation and technology initiatives, smart city, digital innovation, and transformation. Carlos will speak about connecting the smart city era. I look forward to their sharing and encourage you all to continue to join our Scholar Leader webinar series. Thank you all.
Thank you, Professor Wei, for giving us the opening remark and introduction of DBA and DFinTech programs. We are pleased to have our first speaker, Dr. Angus Ho. Dr. Angus Ho, please.
Yep, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wei and Dr. Derek. So I would like to share my PPT. So can you all you guys hear me well? And can you see those? Sorry, I mean. So thank you, Dr. Wei and Dr. Derek. Can you see my presentation well? And can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. If anyone cannot hear me well or have any questions, just use the the chat room that to type some X, and then I will know for sure that you cannot hear me well. Okay. So today, thank you for DBA and Dr. Y and Dr. Derek's invitation. So my topic I'm going to share today is accelerating smart city development in the next normal. Okay. So you can see my name is a little bit, Angus Ho is I try to highlight in red. It's a little bit AI and okay. So right. So try to before it.
There's a teething problem. Let us fix it quickly.
So, yep. So, the topic we're going to discuss is about accelerating the smart city development in the next normal. So, so our administration staff will share the PPT. It will be more effective, right? So, next slide. So, make it short. So, I would like to share in these four critical perspectives. I will firstly introduce a little bit about myself, and then I will share a little bit more on the smart city blueprint, and specifically focus on the smart people, and how education technology can enable the digital transformation. And if I still have time, I will share a little bit more practical episodes. Right, so talk about those kind of like, academic kind of things. I would like to use this kind of like approach. I would use this kind of like inverse triangle. Because, for example, when we study about those kind of master degree, doctoral degree, we would firstly focus on those kind of like academic implication. But today, I would like to share a little bit more on those practical and managerial kind of like implication. And then I will try to link these kind of things together, how we can link with those kind of like academic, and how we can link with those kind of like education technology and DBA, the course. I will show you later. So talking about my personal profile. So, for sure that you read from my profile, I'm right now the chairman of the InnoTech Affairs Committee of IIM and vice chairman of the Education Technology. So I'm devoted to contribute all those kind of like, my passion on education technology. I'll tell you why later. Okay, this is my career path from those kind, not like Dr. Carlos, to work in the telecommunication company for many years. I'm rather, I have those experience on building management, intelligent building, R&D, and I even work for some government-funded organization like Hong Kong PC. So my aim is not just focus on technology, rather I will focus on more kind of like to facilitate the digital transformation to enable the society. So it's come some project from the year 2000 to year 2021, from the IFC to the smart park. Okay. Right. So let's go straight forward to this like framework, because when we study about doctorate degree, why we need to study doctorate degree or even seeking for some higher education, I would like to say that after this kind of like framework, whenever I worked in those conglomerates or even government-funded organization, after this kind of framework, it's not difficult for you to tell. It's like a like a fan, but you can tell that you can see the word highlight with some red color. A, B, C, D, E, F. A stands for AI, B stands for blockchain, C stands for cybersecurity, D stands for data analytics, and E stands for those enterprise transformation solution, and F is very important, it stands for funding. So I will elaborate this framework one by one. So believe it or not, because I try to, like what I mentioned, I try to facilitate all this kind of like industrial 4.0, enterprise 4.0, marketing 4.0 in the past years. So we have a very rigid kind of like assessment. So believe it or not, most of the Hong Kong company, in particular the SME, is still on the stage of 0I, 1I. We categorize it into 5 levels, but believe it or not, most of the Hong Kong company are still on the very early stage of this kind of like transformation. So in this part, I would share a little bit more practical experience on the application of the smart city and communities to see how I will actually implement, and I will link with those kind of like academic kind of stuff. Okay. So before COVID-19, I used huge effort to encourage people to go digital, but for sure that many senior management, the owner, wow, there's some too many excuses. For example, like budget concerns, I'm not ready to go. That's why in my previous slides that talk about most of the SME company is still on the 01, 01 and 1I stages. Because of what? They do not have this kind of a sense to predict what will happen. So before the pandemic, it's not easy for us to promote or to persuade those kind of senior management to go through this kind of like digital transformation process. Definitely, we already try to fine-tune our solution to be more stepwise, because we know budget is a concern. So why go digital? Why go digital transformation? Under the pandemic, I would like to say in the past 2 years, some of the, most of the SME already, vanished. So you know why? We use our utmost effort to try to persuade those senior management and even the owner to go through this sort of DX, digital transformation kind of process. Yeah, this is the critical scenario. I will try to just highlight a bit just the CSV. Those conglomerates is the predator to hunt for those like small fishes. And right now, the thing is different. I'm not trying to talk about the B to B to C to C to B, C to B. I would like to say most of you will well understand. I'm trying to say about B for B. B for B, it can enlarge the PowerPoint. It's report. Whenever you come over this kind of like to form an alliance to become like a predator to this kind of like traditional kind of conglomerates, you need to have heart. We need to like have this kind of like passion, heart, and CSV, creating share value in order to have this kind of like synergy to have this kind of like become a predator to hunt for this kind of like conglomerates. Sorry for that. Maybe some conglomerates here, but I'm trying to talk about this kind of like both sides of like the benefit. Well, so I like I mentioned before, ABCDE, AI, blockchain, cybersecurity, data analytics, enterprise transformation solution and funding is what I've already put a lot of effort in the past years. So Internet of Things. So the one Dr. Carlos is the guy is the expert. So I would like to skip some of the slides because he's the expert. I would like to say he will share a little bit more on those kind of 5G and those kind of like smart city kind of things. So I would like to skip this couple of slides, smart construction, all those kind of things. So what I would like to highlight is that from the government smart city blueprint 2.0, you can see that there are a lot of initiatives like smart mobility, smart living, smart environment, smart government, smart economy, various kind of thing. But I would like to highlight a little bit more on the people. That's the point I would like to share is quite correlated with my topic today, education and people. Okay, smart people, this strategy and initiatives. You can see that I think most of the people or even parents we heard about the those kind of STEM kind of like education. Okay, provide those IT training, those kind of like IT professional kind of things, this kind of like education, and even not even in Hong Kong, and also in GBA, and to nurture a highly adaptive embrace to change the technology, in particular on young generation, is what I'm focused on. So I would highlight that why I would talk about the smart city, and I would like to talk about the education. This is my main focus. So this is those kind of like, as I promised at the very beginning, I would use this kind of like inverse triangle. I would talk about those kind of like practical implications first, managerial implications, and last, I will talk about those academic implications. So this is what I experienced in the past 5 or 6 years, is to, VC concept, VC philosophy, to collect those data, to connect and to collide. What we talk about is we want to have those kind of like real-time customer buying behavior analytics. Definitely, we have our ambitious and have our own mindset. A, B, C, D, E. So this kind of like kiosk, you can experience a quick, as I promised, is a very quick snapshot, because Dr. Carlos will go through some things. Those pop store and those AI-enabled kind of application to understand your positive and negative behavior. And blockchain, people talk about blockchain will correlate with so kind of like cryptocurrency, but it's not, because for example, like jewelry industry, people talk about 4C, about the diamond, but we talk about the 4T, how to trace about the the originalism and those kind of like traceability of the raw product. Yeah, and the CRM, cybersecurity is a must. IoT for smart home, smart business, and the visibility of those, like our boss want to have a very macro picture, holistic picture on those kind of like report. Also, integrated operations center is one of my strengths, and the enterprise solutions like RPA, those kind of like software robotic, right? So I would like to a little bit jumpy on this kind of thing, and the funding definitely, because I'm working on BC, because talk about the TVP, the technology voucher, those DBS, you guys already, maybe some of you guys already experienced before. Yeah. So apart from the practical implication, managerial implication is very important. People maybe think about, have a dissimilar perception about senior management, just looking for those ROI, those are things. But I would like to give you 4 character. Cash, okay? Cash is king, definitely. Connectivity, like HKT is the expert on those connectivity. Analytic on data, sensors, IoT. But the most important things I want to highlight is talk about the people, is the human machine interface, HMI. First, we will highlight those kind of like can-do spirit. Definitely, we got to have this kind of like mindset. And the second is the people-centric kind of like develop our mindset. And mindset transformation is very important. So talking about those kind of like senior management kind of like implication is not just about the cash. It's talk about HMI. So how education technology can enable kind of this kind of like digital transformation and HMI. So I would like to share a little bit more. So I was invited to be some speakers in those like university and secondary school. So in Chinese, what we call is, I want to involve in those kind of like building this kind of like robotic, but I don't want to be this kind of like typical robotics. But how and why? Yeah. So I would like to share a bit more. This is the typical slide. I would like to share a bit more. So it's a little bit, a cartoon, but it's a dilemma between the Terminator and the Doraemon. Okay, we got to build a little bit backward to have this kind of like education kind of things in order to nurture our next generation to cope with the next normal. Yeah. Before now and the next, I would like to share. I think C2VX, Dr. Carlos will share a little bit more. So it's talking about the antecedents and consequences. To talk about the consequences, that means the result. But I would rather focus on the antecedent. Just focus on those kind of like design thinking. Why not? We can make use of our doctorate kind of like mindset to put those kind of research thinking to integrate into the STEAM solution and associate with the CSV project implementation. So the next slide is just some sharing on those conglomerates. But actually, I have been doing a lot of things in those kind of like secondary school in order to communicate well with the principal, teachers, and so why I have this kind of like passion, because my son is study on STEAM kind of like mechanism. But I would like to say there's a lot of room for them to make use of this kind of like design thinking or even research thinking in order to let the principal and teacher and students have this kind of like intercorrelated kind of like teaching. So at the very beginning, I talked about this kind of inverse triangle. So right now, I talked about the academic implication. What I learned, okay, I'm trying to throw something is very academic. I'm not trying to do that, but talking about the academic integrate implication. Back to year 2004, I studied my doctorate degree. There's a lot of theories like TAM, technology acceptance model from Davis, diffusion model, service quality model, OCB. It's very useful because there are a lot of constructs. I'm not trying to use this time of academic word, but if you have the chance to encounter the program, you know what is the meaning of the construct and attributes. So I'm not trying to go through this stuff like so-called academic things one by one, but it's very useful. For example, this is a model from 1988. How come they can, have this kind of like vision on those kind of like perceived usefulness, ease of use? Talk about the digital phone, the smartphone. They already, encrypt all these kind of things. The usefulness, ease of use. But back to 1898, they already have this kind of like model, this kind of like academic kind of things. So it's easy for me to, when I implement those kind of like disruptive technology, I have a very clear framework and a very clear model to link those things together. And definitely those kind of like marketing model, brand building model, service quality model. Okay, so I would like to highlight a bit is I will try to put this kind of like doctorate kind of like research thinking kind of a mindset, build our framework, more exploratory, experimentally, and use the validation. Don't trust those kind of like, all the things from social media because there are a lot of information, but you create your own research thinking kind of like mindset, becomes more objective. But you need to have this kind of like validation to see what is right and what is wrong. What we call is the fact check right now. this is what we learned back to year 2004. It's kind of like research thinking kind of mindset. So I know that time is running out. So last but not the least, I would like to say that design thinking definitely is a very good point to help those enterprise to implement those things, because well, we welcome all those like innovative idea, all those things. But I would rather use this kind of like hybrid model. There's RT plus DT, research thinking plus the design thinking. That means I would rather move a little bit backward, let maybe our kids or our subordinates to have this kind of like objective mindset. Whenever you think it's right or wrong, please go through those kind of like objective kind of like literature review to know a little bit more about those kind of like from scholars, from the real experience, in order to let you have this kind of like more objective kind of thinking is what I would like to highlight to cover the next normal. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Angus Ho, for giving us inspiring share. Well, he talked a lot of concepts and new things to all of us. Say framework contribution via digital transformation, smart city routine, the new concept about ABCDE, and also cash is king. But this is different concept of cash. Connectivity, analytics on data, sensors, i.e. IoTs, human-machine interface, design thinking, research thinking, STEAM, STEM, stream, and stream. Well, a lot of things. It seems overwhelming. Well, now we go to our next speaker. We are pleased to have our second speaker, Dr. Carlos Tam. His topic is connecting in the smart city era. Actually, he's the expert with 30 years of solid experience in information and communication technology. From his sharing, we will surely be enlightened to understand the development of smart city in Hong Kong and where the industry are going to transform in the digital age. Dr. Carlos Tam, please.
Thank you, Dr. Derek Jong and Dr. Angus Ho. Good afternoon. This is my great pleasure to be invited by the PolyU DBA Doctor of FinTech for my sharing. My topic is connecting in the smart city era. 中文名同智慧城市接軌. My name is Carlos Tam. I'm now the AVP and Digital Business Development Director for the Emerging Technologies in Commercial Group in Hong Kong. I have been working in the ICT industry for more than 30 years, and now focus and lead a ET Emerging Technology Commercial team for the information and technology, smart city, and digital transformation engine. I graduated in the Hong Kong PolyU from my bachelor degree, MBA, and DBA. Also, the incoming president in Rotary Club in the Hong Kong Law Pond, 2001 and 2002. Executive committee members in KMDC, member of Hong Kong Computer Society and MIET. For the agenda today, I will share what is the smart city and the smart city era, and then the vision of the Hong Kong smart city development roadmap and the opportunity in the smart city project to us. Furthermore, connect to smart city service on Hong Kong government, public, private sectors, as well as the key enabler of emerging technology, for example, 5G. This is a Scholar Leader series. I will share my research, study, and finding in the smart city years. Finally, The managerial academic impact and conclusions. Let's come to what is the smart city and smart city era. What is smart city? There is a number of definitions about the term smart city. Both international standard organizations and International Telecommunication Union have their definitions. The smart city consultants and blueprint has widely adopted and based on the smart city view, including the Hong Kong Smart City Blueprint 1.0 and 2.0, define the goal of 6 attributes. Namely, smart mobility, talking about environmental friendly transportation. For example, smart parking meter will be shared later. The second, smart living. Access the e-government and commercial services at any time, anywhere, on any device. Third, smart environment. Enjoy better air quality. Live in green, energy saving, reduce waste, and recycling. Fourth, smart economies. Innovate business ideas for technology investment and funding, for example, EA MPF. Five, smart government, user-friendly and responsive public smart services, innovation tech, application and open data. For example, I am smart. The last one, smart people. Dr. Angus Ho has already stamped and their applications for professional careers. What is the smart city era? Urbanization has never been stopped. 2050, world population will reach 10 billion and 80% staying in cities. Countries and governments plan to restructure and re-establish more modern and sustainable cities for supremacy in the 21st century. There are 3 phases of smart city. Phase 1, smart city 1.0, technology centric. Second, smart city 2.0, technology enabled and city lead. Third, smart city 3.0, citizen co-creation and private-public partnership collaboration for smart city solutions. Now, Hong Kong entry into smart city 2.0. Among 174 cities, Hong Kong ranks number 10 globally and number 3 in Asia. Hong Kong positions itself as the world-famed smart city and play a key role as the international gateway in the Great Bay Area, DBA. Now let's come to second, Hong Kong Smart City Development Roadmap and the opportunities. The Hong Kong Smart Development Roadmap, the vision is to embed innovation and technology to build world-famed smart Hong Kong characterized by the strong economies and high quality of life. In 2017, Hong Kong government appointed PwC to do the comprehensive consultancy report. And then the first Hong Kong Smart City Blueprint was published in December to plan more 70 smart city projects in coming 5 years. Moreover, Hong Kong government has allocated fund full budget and laid down the plan in the policy address and put smart city project ahead, which include such as electronic ID card, multifunctional lamppost, big data analytics platform, in intelligent transport systems, new generation smart parking meters. I am smart by end 2020. By December 2020, the Hong Kong Smart City Blueprint 2.0 was also published in another 70 new smart projects in coming 5 years. So the smart city era is talking about more than a decade. Plan to build and future sustainable city, not only Hong Kong, DBA, and the rest of the world. $2.2 opportunities. Apart from Hong Kong dollar 5 million concern studies. In 2018 and 19, over 50 billion of the future of Hong Kong heading to work as diversity economies, investing for the future and caring and sharing with the specific goal of nurture talent for the knowledge-based economies. Hong Kong new economic by adding investment on the research and development, as well as the reindustrializations. Hong Kong 1.4 billion to push smart city project. UGDP 1.5% in the I&T sector. I&T is undoubtedly an economic driver in the new era. All these goals of I&T strategies, smart city initiatives are project and highly correlated to the connected to the new smart projects, solutions, and service for transforming Hong Kong into smart city era. Connecting to the smart city service. This is aimed to show to what government, public, and private sector are going on the transportation, utility, environmental, and public safety industries, such as highway departments, transportation department, Hong Kong Post, food and environmental hygiene department, water supply department, EMSD, EPD, Hong Kong Observatory, Hong Kong Police, Fire Service Department, transportation of public sector, environmental on smart building and constructions. From the smart city vision to smarter Hong Kong. As mentioned before, smart city has 6 initiatives. All have to use emerging technologies and link them together into smart application platform. On smart furniture side, 5G applications, robotics, autonomous vehicle, 8K, e-sport, and etc. Smart telco use different connectivity services, as mentioned by Angus, such as Wi-Fi, 5G, fiber optic cable, to link them together to become smart service to make Hong Kong smarter and people happier, health, and smart environmental. Traditionally, telecom service provider provide connectivity service such as voice data and internet service, including value-added service on top, and use emerging technologies such as IoT, FinTech, AI, cloud to help for business transformations. In the smart city era, telco extend to provide a full suite of smart product solutions and service to help government, organizations, enterprise in digital transformations. Mobile evolutions has from first generation analog to the second digital GSM voice, SMS, 3G mobile broadband data, and the 4G LTE. And then now it's 5G to bring us not only the high speed, low latency, and massive for immersive user experience, such as AR, VR, robotic, AV, IoT. Let's take 2 minutes to 3 minutes to play the 5G video first.
With the first true 5G service introduced in Hong Kong, the future is finally here. 5G, the latest generation of mobile technologies, will profoundly impact every business and spur innovation. With 5G's unique characteristics of ultra-high speed, ultra-low latency, and massive connectivity, everything will be connected real-time in the new world. Together with other emerging technologies, 5G as a super enabler accelerates digital transformation for enterprises. It creates unprecedented opportunities for different industries, allowing them to make timely decisions with greater accuracy, boosting efficiency and profitability. And together, we make our cities smarter. For applications of 5G in the healthcare sector, real-time remote consultation through the Internet of Medical Things for patient monitoring, remote training of medical staff, and remote mentoring for emergency operations are now all possible with 5G. For the construction industry, 5G enables fast transmission of large drawing files, empowers massive IoT deployment and streamlines operations, assists asset tracking by IoT, and enforces safety compliance. Shopping malls can uplift customer experience by providing an engaging environment. With emerging technology applications, all staff are empowered to provide a more comfortable and delightful shopping environment for customers. Tailor-made AR and VR can engage shoppers with marketing activities via omni-channels and drive interaction from online to offline. Private 5G network and network slicing enables dedicated resources to support mission and time-critical applications. 360-degree monitoring and advanced automation improve overall performance. Smart stadiums optimize immersive fan experience by allowing dimensional views from different angles. HKT 1010 possesses the largest amount of spectrum and owns a 4.9 GHz 5G spectrum, which allows territory-wide true 5G experience. As the only operator in Hong Kong with both fixed and mobile expertise and the most extensive fiber-backed network infrastructure, we have decades of experience in system integration and assumed leadership in cybersecurity protection. HKT 1010 is uniquely positioned to support enterprises on their digital transformation journey. By partnering with global startups and technology partners, we are ready to work with you in turning Hong Kong into a smart city.
Okay, 5G is not only a service, it is really a super enabler to smart application in different industries. Here is the summary of by writing on strength of telco unique capabilities with the emerging technologies, AI, robotics, and video analytics, cloud, to create the smart in different industries. Together with the ultra high speed, low latency, and massive connectivities, 5G is the super enabler to vertical industries. The business transformation enabler are the connectivity, cloud, cybersecurity, data center, SI, and service support. Riding on it, integrated emerging enterprise solution together with emerging technologies to empower different industries in fintech, insurance, retail, manufacturing, constructions, and education. Now I would like to share a smart mobility application, smart parking meters. I believe more of the vehicle owner, driver, has downloaded and used the application. This project is to replace the old parking meters with 12,000 new meters with 10 years management operations and maintenance. Driver has the following behavior benefits areas: easy to operations, convenience, smart and user experience, go green, future planning. The second one is estimated time arrival for green minibus. In Hong Kong, there was 1.5 million number of passengers. Count by using green minibus. Each day, it includes 3,500 green minibus for 500 plus routes cover Hong Kong, Kowloon, and North Point. Its passengers could use the app to know the estimated time arrival for coming 3 green minibus, so they could have better trip planning to waive or take other transportation, such as bus, taxi. This is one of public-private partnership to people in the smart mobility service. This is the last sharing on the first satellite vehicle to everything, CV2X, Chairperson city trial. Accident on the yellow label bus, label car, and the recent accident in Sa Tin Junction last Sundays. One is still more to us. The CV2X trial involved vehicle, driver, pedestrian, traffic light, and detector, and the 5G on 14 kilometers from Hong Kong Science Park to Sa Tin Tower for road safety and traffic efficiency. The trial includes do not pass, emergency stop, lane stop, pedestrian crossing, inter-crossing collisions alert. Hope this trial could be very successful and being implemented to all roads and junctions in Hong Kong in coming futures. Now it's time to for research and study and findings. And this is the webinar for the sharing by the scholar leader. So I would like to share my research study and finding for enriching the sharing. My research topics is an exploratory study of the critical success factors of smart city provider in the smart city years. Regarding the research strategy and design for the identifying of the initial contracts and the critical success factor organization performance measure. There are 67 studies to generate the initial constructs and measurement indicators of CSF, while 55 studies to generate organization performance measure from the academic and practical perspective. The structure questionnaires is designed to use for the primary data and information corrections. Structuring question based on the initial concept and the corresponding measurement indicator from extensive literature review, consultant report, and new business contacts and commercial practices. A total 102 survey questionnaires were designed to collect the data and information from the target 180 organizations. 123 valid response in terms of organization, around 68% response rate. After survey, the data and case analysis. Finally, the findings of critical success factor to the organizational performance in the smart city era have 8 dimensions, include leadership and strategic management, quality management, risk management and governance, human resources management, corporate social responsibilities, marketing responsiveness. While technology and innovation and ecosystems are the key and the significant construct for the critical success factor to the organization performance in the smart city era. That's why all organizations and firms are expected to do the smart in its industries. Now it's time to find implication and conclusions. Okay, because time is going to up. Okay, let's walk very fast to share regarding the theoretic implications. First, to adopt a holistic, comprehensive, related, and framed approach from the academic and practical perspective. Together with real-world business context and the commercial practice to explore, select, identify, development the most relevant and appropriate construct and measurement indicator of CSF and organization performance of smart service provider in the smart city era. Second, empirically confirm and support the 5 selected organizations guaranteed to yield superior organization performance and ensure quicker business success. Third, to fill the research gap. The last, as a reference guide for the future study of the smart cities. Regarding the mentioned implications, the first is to provide practical guidance, guideline insights, and hints to the senior management member to prioritize and resources to emphasize those critical success factors and organization performance. Second is to resources prioritizations and we allocate strategies to their critical success factor, in particular ecosystem, risk management, and governance, as identified by this study, to better utilize their business excellence and sustainability. Third is no single smart service provider can do everything. Ecosystem is found to be significantly associated with all the 6 organization performance measures. Finally, is the leadership and strategic management is potentially a critical success factor, in particular when the participations and the involvement of the private sector. It needs the senior management member not to undermine its importance. Before end of my sharing, I would like to recap the 4 key messages to take away. The first one is connecting technology and innovation. Innovation together is the crucial in the smart city eras. Be creative and imaginative to apply technology in the real life. All industries are going to transform in the digital age. Ecosystems, partnership to create and accelerate for fruitful and better futures. If you would like to know more and connect in the smart city product solution and services, please visit the Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and the website from the HKT Enterprise Solution. This is the end of my sharings in connecting in the smart city. And let me pass to Dr. Derek Jung. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Carlos Tam, for giving us such excellent presentation. If any audience has questions, please send me a note. We learned about smart city and smart city era from Dr. Carlos Tam, and also Hong Kong Smart City Development Roadmap and its opportunities. How to connect to smart city services? Well, thanks our distinguished alumni who gave us such excellent sharing. It is time to open the floor to questions. Let me see. Well, the first question is to Dr. Angus Ho. Okay, what is the critical barrier that affecting the digital transformation execution in smart city era? Dr. Angus Ho.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, so I believe you guys can hear me well. So, back to the year 2004 when I studied the DBA. So my research is on those kind of like privacy issues. So, there are, many kind of like, smart technology, whether it's smart people, which I'm, using my effort to, encourage all these kind of like people mindset kind of things. But the privacy and security, I would like to say, is the critical constraint. I'm not trying to say it's the barrier, but we got to put a little bit more effort to address this issue. For example, like privacy. For example, talking about the smart lamp pole, or all those kind of like C2V, VX kind of things. Definitely, from technological point of view, it will benefit to the community, definitely. But we are people, we are human beings. How we can, this kind of controversial kind of thing to balance all these kind of things. So rather to say a little bit word on those kind of ESG. environmental, social, and governance. Governance is very important because it's a very direct correlation with the how we have the more so this kind of like technology. We have the better governance in order to lower the privacy and security concern. So this what I want to address this question.
Thank you. We have few questions, but let me pick two because we are running out of time. How would you apply this question is to Dr. Carlos Tam? How would you apply the learning from DBA course and the knowledge learned in the telecommunication industry to connect in the smart city era? Dr. Carlos Tam?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jones. The taught subject in the DBA could advance me to build the essential and concrete foundation of the research study and approach, together with my working experience in all business challenges in telecom. I was thinking how to telco company to transform further to capture untapped business opportunity and utilize help to develop the smart city, as I said before, not only Hong Kong, DBA, and the rest of the world. So I finalized my thesis for the topic for the smart cities. I think this not only benefits for my company, but also can be as a reference for telco industries, not limited to the Hong Kong and rest of the world, because all the relevant smart, we are all talking about the smart. This is the first organization level field study to adopt cognitive approach to identify critical success factors, how the organization can be survived in the smart years. So I think this is very good for others as a reference to provide them a guidance to how to move on in the smart cities. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Carlos Tam. We are really running out of time, but I see one more question. If Dr. Carlos Tam can make it short to address this question, try your very best. The question is, what advice you may give to SMEs prepare for the smart city era? Let me repeat it. What advice you may give to SME prepare for smart city era?
Thank you, Victor Leung, to give me the chance to answer your questions. Okay. In fact, smart retail business in the COVID-19 is very downtrend, but now it's going to revamp. So this is the time to add some more smart initiative, not only for the retail shop, but also can provide some mobile applications, especially the 5G is give the another user immersive experience. Try to connect with the end user by using the 5G applications, mobile and the online shoppings. So this will give the retail business more innovations to capture the untapped business opportunities in these years. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to see any further comment from Professor Wei to give us some comment, if any.
Well, I do not have much comment, but just let the audience know if anyone is interested in our program, please either you scan the QR code or you can contact us directly. So if you have any question, just let us know through email or through WeChat. All are fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Perhaps let me show the screen regarding our DBA program and also DFinTech. Well, as shared by Professor Wei earlier, we can see, okay, the QR code. You can scan the QR code and get the details of a DBA program. Next page, please. Also, next page, please. And also, you can scan this QR code to know more about the DFinTech program. All right. We are close to the end of today's event. Taking this opportunity, I would like to remind that this Scholar Leader webinar event is organized by the Doctor of Business Administration and Doctor of FinTech Programs of the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Co-organizer is the Hong Kong PolyU DBA Alumni Associate Limited. Supporting organization is Hong Kong HKNETEA. Well, for our webinar, actually, it is a series of webinars, right? We start from April, okay, and our upcoming webinar is reindustrialization, tentatively to be held in July. We will invite our DBA alumni to share their practical experience with academic insights. Stay tuned to our announcement. I would like to close my remarks and officially announce the end of today's event, Smart City. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.